Today, on 16 September, only 35 seconds left. Don't scroll. God says a $1 trillion miracle is being released in your name tonight. Heaven is trying to call you. This day, 16 September, has not arrived by accident. He written in the heaven, appointed, consecrated, sealed. Child of the Most High, listen closely, the day has come that bears your name in fire. This moment, yes, this exact second, is not like all the others that passed you by. No, this moment is a divine threshold. 16 September has been marked in the archives of eternity as a day when the scroll of your life would turn, when a hidden chapter would be revealed, when a divine transaction would take place under your name. This is not just another day. This is not just another message. This is your confirmation. Heaven has said a summons. The clock is ticking. Only 35 seconds remain before the window begins to close. You may feel it. A pressure in your chest, a sudden stillness in the atmosphere, a fire rising in your spirit that you can't explain. That's the sound of eternity calling. That's the whisper of angels aligning your name with miracle territory. The $1 trillion miracle is not coming. It is already in motion. It has been dispatched with urgency, precision, and divine timing. But here is the weight of it. Not all will receive it. Not all will hear it. Only those whose ears are tuned to the frequency of heaven will know how sacred this call truly is. Beloved, you are being asked not to scroll past this, because every scroll is a dismissal of what heaven just tried to deliver. Every distraction is a missed alignment. This message isn't for the casual listener. This isn't for the doubter, or the one who needs proof before believing. This is for the awakened one, for the obedient one, for the still one, for the called one. You must be still. You must be silent. You must receive. The condition of the miracle is obedience, and the posture is surrender. In silence, you will hear. In stillness, you will receive. And in your yes, the gates of heaven will release more than money. It will release the mantle, the mission, and the movement you were born to carry. Type "I receive the call" in the comments if this message found you. Blessing code 333 is activated over your atmosphere. Heaven has dialed your spirit's number tonight, and only those with ears to hear will pick up. Listen, this is not a drill, not a coincidence. This is not just another scroll through your screen. Something supernatural is colliding with your timeline in this very moment. This is not content. This is contact. This is the voice of heaven wrapped in human words, echoing through your soul. Can you feel it? That pull in your chest? That invisible tension stirring in the silence between heartbeats? That's not anxiety. That's not imagination. That is your spirit recognizing the divine signal. Heaven has dialed your number. You are not here by chance. You didn't stumble into this message. You didn't randomly land on this video. This was divinely intercepted. $1 trillion miracle, yes, 1 trillion, has been authorized in the courts of heaven, and your name is written in golden fire across it. But listen, child of destiny, the line is ringing now. The call is coming through. And if you scroll, if you ignore it, if you silence this moment, you hang up on heaven's answer. This moment is a holy disruption. You've asked. You've prayed. You've wept in silence, wondering if God still sees you, if He still hears you, if He remembers the promises He whispered into your midnight. And now, here it is, a divine confirmation wrapped in urgency. You asked God for a sign, and now a sign has found you. But only the spiritually awake, only the bold enough to pause, only the obedient enough to listen, will be able to unlock the weight of what's being poured out tonight. I, Michael, archangel of the Lord, speak not of coins or commerce but of kingdom currency, miracles measured in mantles, assignments, and heavenly favor. $1 trillion miracle is not just about wealth, it is about influence, about reach, about restoration, and about divine acceleration. That kind of breakthrough can't be received casually. It demands reverence. It demands focus. It demands surrender. Do not scroll. Do not distract your destiny. Every second that passes is another ring from heaven's throne, another chance to answer the call. And listen well. By the time sunrise kisses your atmosphere, something will shift. A cloud will lift. A blockage will break. And if you are aligned, you will see it, you will feel it, and you will walk into it. But if you let this pass like any other moment, it will feel like silence, when really it was a missed response to your own cry. And now I must tell you something not all will understand. This word, this timing, this divine interruption is not for the masses. It is not for the mockers, nor the spiritually numb. This is a coded message sent only to those who have been marked by fire, set apart in silence, prepared through pain. You are that one. The one who heaven selected. The one whom earth rejected. The one whose name is now echoing in divine chambers. God has called your spirit forward tonight, and heaven is watching to see will you pick up. This is your moment. This is your call. A miracle is waiting. The ring will not last forever. Type I will not miss this call if you hear this message in your spirit. Blessing code 777 is now charging the air around you. They've watched you from the shadows. They've whispered, they've doubted, but they didn't know heaven was tracking every step. Listen carefully. Beloved, you have been watched, not just by heaven, but by the hidden watchers of this world. Not all eyes that glance your way are innocent. Some observe with envy, others with suspicion. Many have tried to decode your next move, unaware that even you didn't fully understand what was being written in the background of your life. But heaven knew. Heaven kapegu. Heaven saw every misstep, every betrayal, every tear that never reached the ground. And tonight everything changes. There are spiritual forces that tried to convince you that what you carry is ordinary. They wanted you to believe that your delay meant denial, that your silence meant failure. But they were wrong. What they didn't see, what they couldn't comprehend, was that heaven was planting you, not punishing you. And now, just as a seed breaks ground in its due season, your appointed time has come. There have been whispers in the dark about you. You will last. He doesn't have it in him. I don't deserve what's coming. But oh, how little they know of what God has already released in your name. They sense something on you. They feel a shift when you walk into the room. They stare because they can't put language to what they're witnessing. But heaven knows. Heaven whispers your name in divine corridors. And now, the scrolls are being opened. You are in the middle of a divine disruption, an emotional tension that has nothing to do with what's in front of you and everything to do with what's being stirred behind the veil. The unease, the restlessness, the subtle frustrations. That's not random. That's the evidence that something is being birthed in the spirit realm. The trillion-dollar miracle tied to your name is drawing near, and your soul is feeling the weight of it before your hands even touch it. Have you noticed it? A strange warfare. A people acting differently. The odd resistance when you're about to step forward. That's because they sense it too. Even if they can't name it, they feel it. The favor forming around you like a fire. They sense you are chosen. They may not say it aloud, but deep down, they feel it. That's why the tension has risen. That's why certain people can't stand your presence anymore. That's why your atmosphere feels heavier before it clears. But don't be confused. Don't let the mystery break your focus. What feels like confusion is actually confirmation. Your enemies aren't celebrating. They're nervous. The devil isn't confident. He's cornered. And those who thought you would never rise, they're beginning to realize they underestimated the hand of God on your life. You were hidden for reason. You were delayed for divine preservation. And now, you are being revealed. There is mystery in your movement because miracles aren't meant to be predictable. And that trillion-dollar miracle God is releasing in your name, it's not meant to be understood. It's meant to be witnessed. What you're carrying will shock many. It will silence rooms. It will shift family lines. It will make mockers remember your name. But before it arrives in fullness, you must pass through the disruption. You must endure the unease. Because that's the sound of the heavens opening. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Their confusion is your confirmation. Their suspicion is your signal. And their silence in your struggle will become their shock in your success. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. If this message is shaking something deep in your spirit, then hear this. You are not just watching this video, you are answering heaven's call. And as this trillion-dollar miracle begins its descent, you have a sacred opportunity to sow into the soil of deliverance. When you support this prophetic mission, whether through super thanks, membership, or even a seed offering via PayPal, you are not giving to a person, but unlocking destiny in others just like you. The Lord says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." Luke 6:38 is breathing on your sacrifice. I feel led to say this now. I've made space for your obedience. Your seed today isn't charity. It's an act of faith. It's oil poured on a promise. Heaven sees it. Heaven blesses it. And heaven multiplies it. A link to support via PayPal is in the video description. Super thanks and channel memberships are now open. Move prophetically. Act boldly. Release your yes. You thought it was just warfare, but it was training. You thought you were under attack, but you were under divine construction. Listen to me now, beloved. The pain was not punishment. The delay was not denial. The betrayal was not abandonment. Everything that rose against you, every tongue that wagged, every door that slammed, every storm that spun out of nowhere, was not meant to destroy you, it was permitted to reveal you. And while it looked like hell had its hand on your name, the truth is heaven had its hand on your destiny. This is why the warfare felt relentless. This is why the pressure seemed unending. This is why every time you took one step forward, life seemed to throw you 3 steps back. It wasn't because you were weak, it was because you were dangerous. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on those who pose no threat. You were attacked, not because you were fragile, but because you were anointed. You were fought, not because of where you are, but because of where you're going. Every delay was divine. Every closed door was sovereign. Every betrayal was a divine test dressed as rejection. You have to see it now. God didn't let them stay because their presence would have poisoned your promotion. He didn't allow that opportunity to prosper because it would have hijacked your alignment. The things that fell apart weren't failures, they were filters. God was filtering your environment, removing what your heart refused to release, breaking attachments that would have broken your future. And yet, through all the chaos, heaven was silent. You cried out. You begged for answers. You asked why, and the skies gave no reply. But silence is not absence. Silence is sometimes heaven's way of watching your obedience. Did you still pray even when it felt like God didn't answer? Did you still give even when you had little? Did you still love even when love was withheld from you? Heaven was not ignoring you, heaven was evaluating you. Because the kind of miracle that bears your name tonight, the kind that breaks family cycles and releases generational wealth, requires tested vessels. The $1 trillion miracle is not just currency, it is capacity. And God cannot release a mantle that will crush you. So He refined you. Through fire, through silence, through trials that made you question your own worth. But now the fire has forged you. Now the silence has strengthened you. Now the betrayal has birthed discernment in you. And heaven says, well done. You passed the test. But listen closely. Your next steps matter more than ever. What you do now determines whether you step into the release or delay it further. This is the tipping point. The spiritual scale is hanging in balance, and your response to this moment will decide whether the floodgates open or remain sealed. That's why the pressure has intensified. That's why the distractions are multiplying. Because the enemy knows your breakthrough is near. But take heart. You have not been forsaken. You have not been overlooked. Heaven has not forgotten you. In fact, angels have been dispatched because of you. The throne room has spoken your name. You've reached the part of your story where the pain has to produce purpose, where the conflict gives birth to calling, and where the pressure now turns to promotion. You're not standing on broken pieces. You're standing on holy ground. The same ground where your miracle will manifest. The same ground where heaven will announce your elevation. This was not your breaking, this was your becoming. Type I am anointed in the comments if you know this was your test. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. What you are about to face in the next 72 hours is not an accident. It is a divine test. A prayer point. A proving ground. And heaven is watching. Listen carefully now, for this part of the message is not soft. It is not soothing. It is sobering. There is an urgent warning in the atmosphere, a sacred vibration moving through your timeline. And the Spirit of the Lord says, within the next 72 hours, a shift will come, not to destroy you, but to reveal you. A divine encounter is about to rise in the form of resistance. You will feel the friction. You will feel the pull. Something will try to unsettle you, distract you, even provoke you. But this is no ordinary chaos. This is a final test of alignment. You must understand, whenever heaven prepares to release a weighty miracle, hell responds with confusion. Not because it has power to stop the blessing, but because it hopes to make you stop your own obedience. If the devil can't curse you, he'll distract you. If he can't destroy the calling, he'll try to derail your focus. But this time, yes, this exact moment in time, he's too late. You groaned. You discerned. And now, you must stand firm. There are whispers already forming in places you cannot hear. There are meetings being had in rooms you haven't entered. There are names, your name, being spoken by mouths that once denied you. And while your spirit is sensing this rise, your flesh may feel anxious, irritable, even exhausted. That's because your spirit already knows a collision is coming, a confrontation between the promise and the plot. The enemy is plotting, yes. But let me tell you with full authority from the throne, his schemes are not a threat, they are a stage. A stage for your unveiling. A stage for God's glory. A stage for the miracle to manifest before the very ones who thought they'd buried you. Do not flinch. Do not fear. And do not fold. Because the $1 trillion miracle being released in your name tonight is connected to your stability under pressure. Do not be surprised if certain people suddenly show up again. Some will return pretending to care. Some will approach you in false peace. Some will stir conflict just to knock you off center. But this is not the moment to react in emotion. This is the hour to stand in silence, speak with wisdom, and move only as led by the Spirit. The next 72 hours are not about action. They are about alignment. You may feel your emotions surge. You may feel a need to defend yourself. You may be tempted to confront someone, to chase down clarity, or to prove your position. Resist the urge. This is not a battle of flesh. This is not about being right. This is about being in position. And the only way to win what's coming is to remain anchored in stillness and fortified by discernment. The pressure will rise emotionally, spiritually, even relationally, but do not confuse pressure with punishment. Pressure is the sound of power being formed. Diamonds are not born without it. Oil is not extracted without it. Fire does not fall where there is no altar. And you, beloved, are now standing on the altar. Your offering has already been seen. Your obedience, your sacrifice, your surrender. Now comes the fire. And after the fire comes the release. Heaven is already moving. The documents with your name have already been sealed. The gates have already begun to open. But you must hold your posture. Do not bow to the chaos. Do not respond to provocation. Stay aligned, and you will see what no man can stop. This is not just a word. It is a warning, and it is also a window. Step through it in obedience, and what was prophesied will become what is possessed. Type "I am ready" for the shift in the comments if you will stand still. Blessing code 747 is now surrounding your mind and spirit. Be still, beloved. The battlefield is real, but your weapon is not retaliation. It is silence. It is discernment. It is obedience. This is not the hour to speak carelessly. This is not the moment to act impulsively. You are standing in a spiritual zone where heaven is actively intervening on your behalf. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. And yet, you must walk with great caution, because what is being released over your life is too valuable to risk through distraction or unguarded emotion. The $1 trillion miracle connected to your name is now hovering in the unseen realm, and heaven has begun to send divine protection. But you must do your part. You are not being called to fight this one. You are being called to withdraw, not in fear but in strategic wisdom. Step back from unnecessary conversations. Disengage from provocations that would steal your peace. Cease trying to explain yourself to people whose ears have never been open to truth. This next release will not be announced by noise. It will come through silence. And if you can master silence, you will master your atmosphere. The Lord says, I am surrounding you like fire. I am covering your home, your family, your finances, and your mind. But you must trust my movement, even when it feels like nothing is moving. Your silence is not inaction. It is intercession. Every time you hold your tongue, you give space for heaven to roar on your behalf. Every time you choose stillness over reaction, the angels assigned to your name go forth without hindrance. This is how you war in this season. Not with loudness, not with defense, but with quiet obedience. Some will try to provoke you. They will push at your peace, hoping to open the old version of you. Do not respond. Do not explain. Do not let their chaos become your conversation. They are baiting you to step out of alignment because they sense what's coming. They don't understand the full picture, but in their spirit, they can feel that something massive is forming in your life. That's why they've become uncomfortable in your presence. Your stillness convicts their instability. Your focus agitates their confusion. You must now build a spiritual wall around your heart and mind. Guard your ears. Don't let every voice have access. Guard your eyes. Don't feed on what is not from God. Guard your emotions. Don't let what they do decide how you move. The pressure you're feeling is because what you're carrying is sacred, and sacred things must be protected, not paraded. The $1 trillion miracle has weight to it, and if you let the wrong people near it, they will try to pollute what God is about to bless. Do not try to convince anyone. Do not try to vindicate yourself. Let God speak for you. Let favor announce you. Let the miracle be the megaphone. You are now walking under a divine shadow, a place of holy covering where arrows may fly, but they will not pierce. Attacks may rise, but they will not prosper. Tongues may rise in judgment, but they shall be silenced by the evidence of what God is about to do. This is your command from the throne. Be still. Let silence be your armor. Let discernment be your defense. Let God be your vengeance. What's coming to you cannot be stopped, unless you forfeit it by stepping out of spiritual position. And that will not be your portion. You are now under divine surveillance. Every move you make is watched by angels. Every act of restraint is rewarded. Every moment you choose peace over pride becomes a key in heaven's hand. And soon, very soon, you will see the fruit of your stillness manifest as power, favor, and divine reversal. Type "My silence is my shield" in the comments if you will obey this divine instruction. Blessing code 888 is now deployed around your household. You are not who they think you are anymore. What once chained you no longer fits. What once defined you has now expired. You are evolving. You are ascending. Listen to this word, for it carries the weight of divine transformation. What they thought they saw in you, what they assumed about your story, was based on a former version of you that no longer exists. Heaven is now declaring this over your life. You have shifted. And even though the world has tried to keep you small, even though they continue speaking to the you they remember, they no longer recognize the you that has emerged from the fire. You are not what they called you. You are not what they did to you. You are not what you went through. You are what God has said, and heaven is standing to enforce it. The old version of you endured cycles. It tolerated silence. It survived in shadows. But that version has completed its assignment. That version had to break, so that this version could rise. And now you walk not as a victim of your past, but as a carrier of fire. You are stepping into rooms with unseen authority. You are carrying presence without saying a word. You are clothed in oil. You are veiled in power. And yes, they can feel it, even if they don't understand it. This is why the attacks increased recently. This is why the conversations shifted behind your back. This is why those who once celebrated you suddenly went quiet. Because heaven has raised your elevation, and now you're moving in altitude that others cannot breathe in. You were not made to stay low. You were not made to be tolerated. You were created to carry the mantle, to move in dominion, to walk in rooms where miracles follow your footsteps. Heaven says, you are no longer the hidden one. You are the revealed one. What was forming in the wilderness is now coming forth in the open. The wings that were growing in secret are now ready for flight. The fire that was kindled in pain is now burning through every limitation. You are not waiting on a release, you are the release. A miracle isn't just coming to you, it's coming through you. You are the vessel. You are the movement. You are the prophecy fulfilled. You have graduated from mere survival. Now you walk in supernatural authority. You are the answer to someone else's prayer. You are the evidence that God still resurrects. And when you rise into this new identity, the $1 trillion miracle cannot help but locate you. Because heaven does not pour oil on confusion. It anoints the prepared. And now, you have become the vessel that can carry what others dropped. Your voice carries weight. Your presence carries shift. Your obedience carries breakthrough. You must now speak, move, act, and decide like someone who has been marked by heaven. No longer timid. No longer shrinking. No longer begging for scraps in places God has called you to own. You have been sent. You have been sealed. You have been set apart. What heaven is doing now is irreversible. What has shifted in your atmosphere cannot be undone. The fire has touched you. The oil has marked you. And the veil has torn. You are stepping into the miracle, not as a beggar, but as a rightful heir. And no demon, no man, no delay can undo what has already been sealed in eternity. Type I have shifted in the comments if this word confirms your spirit. Blessing code 1199 has now been released upon your identity. This is not just a financial miracle. This is a full-scale, heaven-authorized release. Favor, elevation, authority, destiny. It's all wrapped into what's being delivered in your name tonight. Listen now with a discerning spirit, for what is being spoken is not for the casual hearer. This is a prophetic announcement reserved only for those who have endured the fire and remain faithful in silence. This is not motivation. This is manifestation. The $1 trillion miracle that has been hovering in the spirit is no longer pending. It is en route. And it's not just monetary. It's not just about money in a bank account. This miracle carries inheritance, influence, impact, and irreversible elevation. Heaven says, this is your unlocking, not your audition, not your application, not your request. The locking. That means the vault has already been opened. The scroll has already been signed. The blessing has already been written. And now the gates are opening under the sound of your obedience. What was delayed is being delivered. What was blocked is being broken open. What was overlooked is now overtaking you. You're not chasing favor anymore. Favor is chasing you. Your name, yes, your very name, is being spoken in places your feet have not yet entered. Divine advocates are rising on your behalf. Earthly alignments are being stirred in secret places. Courtrooms of destiny have recorded your faithfulness, and now the reward is being dispatched. Angels are moving. Doors are creaking open. Timelines are shifting to accommodate the prophecy tied to your existence. You didn't miss it. You didn't lose it. You're right on time. Tonight, the heavens are conducting a sacred transaction. And what is being released is so profound, so unprecedented, that only those who are fully in alignment will recognize the weight of it. It will look like unexpected favor. It will feel like open doors. It will manifest as acceleration. But make no mistake, it is the $1 trillion miracle in spiritual form. Heaven's wealth flows differently. It doesn't just fill hands. It fills purposes. It funds assignments. It fuels mantles. You are not being blessed randomly. You are being activated intentionally. You are being aligned with legacy. You are being positioned as a key to unlock chains in others. This miracle is not just for you. It will move through you. It will affect families. It will affect nations. It will shift bloodlines. And it is heaven's response to every silent prayer you thought God ignored. But he didn't ignore you. He was preparing the way to what was to come. Heaven doesn't rush what it values. That's why it took this long. Because what's being released in your name is too valuable to misplace, too heavy to mishandle, too divine to be early. And now, the set time has come. This is your hour. This is your shift. This is your divine download. And no system, no enemy, no failure can reverse what has already been announced in the courts of heaven. This is not the end. This is the beginning. This is the gate of divine acceleration opening to the faithful. And you, chosen one, are standing at the threshold. Type "I receive my unlocking" in the comments if you know this was for you. Blessing code 1616 is now covering your assignment. As this prophetic release reaches your spirit, remember this. You are not just a listener. You are a carrier of the word. And right now, you have the opportunity to partner with the prophetic to help this same word reach thousands more who are still waiting for their unlocking. When you sow into this ministry, whether through super thanks, membership, or by giving through PayPal, you're not just supporting a message, you're activating miracles in others. Heaven honors seed. Heaven watches obedience. And as it is written, the generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. This is more than a donation. It's a divine transaction. The PayPal support link is waiting for you in the video description. Super thanks and channel membership are open doors for those ready to move prophetically. Sow into your future. Seal this word. Let heaven remember your name in the hour of release. This is not the season to wait. This is the moment to respond. Destiny is not passive. It requires participation. And heaven is watching for your agreement. This is your call to divine activation. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not once you feel ready. Now, because destiny does not respond to delay, it responds to obedience. The $1 trillion miracle that heaven has assigned to your name is not waiting on God. It is waiting on you. And the moment your spirit aligns with the will of heaven, everything begins to move. The moment you say yes, every angel assigned to your breakthrough receives their command. The moment you choose faith over fear, the gates begin to open. You must respond. You cannot walk into this next season with hesitation. You cannot second-guess what God has already confirmed. You cannot shrink back when heaven is calling you forward. This miracle, this divine unlocking, is not a result of works, but it does require will. God won't force it on you. You must rise. You must agree. You must say with boldness, "Yes, Lord, I accept the call. Yes, I take ownership of the mantle. Yes, I choose destiny over delay." Some of you have allowed fear to become a substitute for discernment. You've called it caution, but it was really disbelief. You've called it timing, but it was really delay. And heaven is now confronting every excuse that has kept you stuck. Because tonight is not about a good feeling. It is about a holy decision. The decision to finally embrace the version of you God wrote before you were formed. The decision to walk in alignment, no matter who walks away. The decision to act like someone who knows the weight of what they carry. The Lord is saying, "You've asked me to move. Now I'm asking you to respond." This is a spiritual transaction that requires a human response. This is your moment to activate what has already been released. The $1 trillion miracle is suspended in the spirit like rain waiting for a command. And your agreement, your full, verbal, soul DPS, is the command that pulls it down. Your destiny doesn't require perfection. It requires movement. And movement begins with a word, yes. Some of you have been silent too long. You've been sitting in rooms you've outgrown, bowing in circles that can't see you, praying for a change without stepping into it. But now the voice of the Lord speaks directly to you. Rise. Speak. Declare. Obey. Because your destiny will not chase you. It will wait on your response. The power has already been poured. The miracle has already been minted. The gate has already been unlocked. But only you can step through. This is not for those who want comfort. This is for those who want kingdom. This is for those who have wept in the wilderness, who have endured hidden training, who have suffered in silence. Heaven is offering you the mantle, but you must wear it boldly. The calling has your name on it, but you must answer it with conviction. No more delay. No more second-guessing. No more waiting for the world's confirmation of what God has already established. Your voice matters. Your obedience matters. Your yes has weight. It moves mountains in the realm of the Spirit. It shakes timelines. It routes divine assignments. When you respond, heaven reacts. When you move, the miraculous manifests. When you declare why yes, the earth must align with the frequency of your calling. This is your activation. This is your alignment. This is the hour where you stop being a witness to others' miracles and start walking in your own. Say yes, not just with your lips, but with your life. Say yes with your choices. Say yes with your faith. Say yes with your movement. Say yes and watch heaven move like never before. Type yes. I align in the comments if you're stepping into your destiny. Blessing Code 2020 is now unlocking hidden doors before you. You may not see it with your eyes, but the realm of the Spirit is trembling with movement. The exchange has begun. What was once withheld is now being released. In secret, in silence, in supernatural precision. Even now, as you hear this message, something is happening behind the veil. There is a holy negotiation occurring. A divine transaction unfolding not with noise, not with chaos, but in perfect stillness. Heaven is whispering your name into chambers where destinies are rewritten. There are angels standing at the edges of your life, holding things you once lost, now multiplied. You feel the weight in your spirit, the restlessness in your sleep, the strange interruptions in your thoughts, and it's not confusion. It's confirmation. You are sensing the exchange. This moment right now, on 16 September, hath been marked for divine transfer. God has chosen to do this in silence because the enemy cannot intercept what he cannot hear. What is happening is too sacred to be shouted. It is being sealed quietly so it cannot be corrupted. The $1 trillion miracle that was delayed is now descending. But not just as wealth, as justice, favor, restoration, legacy, and spiritual elevation. Heaven is returning what was stolen, not as it was taken, but greater. Everything that was stripped from you in previous seasons, the respect, the opportunities, the relationships, the peace, is now being rewritten into your timeline with interest. God is not giving back what you lost. He is transferring what is owed. That means you are about to receive what you didn't even realize was yours. Property, influence, authority, open doors in realms you never dreamed you would walk through. Why now? Because heaven needed to see if you would believe without the applause, if you would remain faithful without the reward. And you did. You chose obedience over visibility. You chose consecration over competition. And now, the silent exchange begins, the kind that shifts bloodlines and elevates generations. You are not being rewarded by man. You are being recalibrated by God. There are scrolls being opened with your name on them. The courtroom of heaven is reconciling everything the enemy tried to delay. You cried and thought it was wasted. You fasted and thought it was in vain. But God was keeping receipts. He was counting every sacrifice. And tonight, the exchange begins. While you sleep, angels will be moving. While you rest, documents will be signed in the supernatural realm. While you remain still, the deal will be sealed. This is why the warfare increased before this day. The enemy could smell something moving but didn't know what. That's why your emotions were under attack. That's why your relationships were shaken. That's why your mind felt heavy, because your spirit was picking up on the exchange. The enemy wanted to pull you out of position before heaven made the deposit. But you stayed. You obeyed. And now the windows are opening, quietly, but powerfully. Do not underestimate the silence. Just because the blessing is arriving softly does not mean it is small. In fact, the greatest moves of God come without warning. And what's being transferred to you in this moment carries generational weight. You may not feel the shift in the natural immediately, but when you wake tomorrow, things will begin to align. Unexpected favor, random calls, sudden openings, divine clarity. These are the signs that the exchange hath been completed. The world will wonder how it happened. They'll say she came out of nowhere. He rose overnight. But what they didn't see was the silent exchange. They didn't hear the sound of angels negotiating. They didn't feel the fire in the spirit. They didn't sense the scrolls being unraveled with your name etched in gold. But heaven saw, heaven heard, heaven moved. And now, so must you. Step into what has already been released. Type "I receive my divine exchange" in the comments if you know this moment was your turning point. Blessing code 3030 is now resting upon your house. Heaven has declared war against injustice. What was done in secret will be exposed. What was stolen will be returned. And what was used against you will now be used to elevate you. Hear the word of the Lord, for it thunders with justice and roars with divine authority. This is not a season of quiet endurance. This is the hour of righteous reversal. Heaven has kept silent long enough. The scales have tilted for too long in a wrong direction. And now, the judge of all creation has arisen from his throne and declared, enough. Every crooked hand that tried to twist your outcome, every foul tongue that misrepresented your name, every force that moved against your progress with wicked intent, is now being confronted. You see, the delay you experienced was not because God was absent. It was because heaven was recording everything. Nothing escaped divine record. Not the betrayal, not the false accusation, not the doors that were closed in your face for no righteous reason. And now, on this appointed day, 16 September, the heavenly courtroom has ruled in your favor. The gavel has dropped, and restitution has begun. This $1 trillion miracle is not just about overflow. It is about justice. It is heaven saying, you will not leave this wilderness empty-handed. For every year the locust devoured, God is restoring double. For every lie spoken over your character, God is elevating your reputation. For every opportunity stolen in the shadows, God is preparing a public platform with your name engraved upon it. But here's what makes this moment holy. It's not just that you're being rewarded. It's that your enemies are being confronted. Every plot they set in motion is being reversed. Every curse they whispered is being returned, not by your hand, but by divine decree. The reversal is not vindictive. It is righteous. God is not fighting to appease your pain. He is fighting to honor his justice. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to explain anything to anyone. The evidence of your vindication will be the favor that floods your life. People will see your life rising and wonder, how did they come back from that? And the answer will be this: because God intervened. Because heaven reversed what hell intended. Because righteousness always has the final word. because no scheme of man or devil can silence what God has decided to release. The reversal will not be subtle. It will be startling. Some will call it luck. Others will call it coincidence. But you will know it was the hand of the Lord. And those who stood against you will be forced to watch, not because God wants to humiliate them, but because He wants to glorify Himself in your restoration. They must see it. Those who buried you must now watch you bloom. Those who silenced you must now hear your voice rise in power. Those who doubted your all must now witness your overflow. Justice is not delayed. It is exact. And God has chosen this day as your moment of divine reckoning. He is not just restoring you. He is reestablishing you. He is not just healing what was broken. He is building what is eternal. The battle has turned. The page has flipped. The enemy hath been overruled. And now, child of God, you walk forward not in bitterness but in boldness, not in vengeance but in victory. For the Lord has pleaded your cause, and He has repaid every loss with interest only heaven can calculate. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if you receive this divine reversal. Blessing code 4141 is now thundering against every opposing force. Now breathe. Let this final word settle in your spirit like dew on sacred ground. Heaven has moved. The angelic realm has responded. The call was not ignored. It was answered. The miracle is not pending. It hath been released. The veil is no longer closed. The door is open. You are no longer wandering. You are walking in the miracle. 16 September was not a suggestion. It was not a coincidence. It was prophetic appointment. A holy checkpoint on the timeline of your life. The Lord had this moment written long before the pain, the betrayal, the fear, or the silence. It was set before the foundations of the earth, that on this very day, the scroll would turn, the verdict would drop, and the $1 trillion miracle tied to your name would be activated. And now, with authority and love, I speak this blessing over you. May peace anchor your soul. May clarity flood your mind. May the divine wind of God rush behind your every obedient step. May your home be covered. May your finances be restored. May your name be cleared. May your voice be elevated. May your enemies be scattered. And may your future be guarded by heaven's fire. You are no longer bound to what happened. You are no longer tied to who left. You are no longer owned by fear. You are free, you are called, and you are covered. You have not missed your moment. You have not run out of time. In fact, time is now working for you. The very minutes that once felt like torment will now become the very proof that God turns everything for your good. The very seconds that once ticked in anxiety will now beat in rhythm with divine purpose. The countdown wasn't to your end, it was to your unveiling. The 35-second warning wasn't fear, it was focus. And now, heaven says, it is done. Walk in your miracle like it's already yours, because it is. Speak with boldness. Move in faith. Obey without hesitation. The next 7 days will carry signs. The next 30 days will produce fruit. The next 90 days will establish legacy. Your only job is to remain aligned. You are not leaving this moment empty-handed. You are leaving with fire on your voice, oil on your name, favor on your hands, and a word sealed in your spirit. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are sealed, seen, and sent. The call was made. You answered. And now you carry the mantle into the next chapter of your life. Type "I am walking in my miracle" in the comments if you receive this final confirmation. Blessing code 9999 has now completed the assignment over your life. If this word reached into your soul, if you felt heaven press into your spirit, then know this was not just a video. It was a divine visitation. And now, you have the opportunity to sow into the very ground where God just met you. When you give, through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the video description, you are not just supporting a platform, you are advancing a movement that brings breakthrough to thousands, a movement that awakens the chosen, a movement that shakes the dry bones back to life. God's word says, "He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." When you give, you are sowing into the prophetic. You are activating more miracles. You are watering ground that produces souls, healings, and destinies. This isn't a suggestion, it's a moment of obedience. Let your seed speak in heaven's courts. You boldly move prophetically. Stand with us in this divine assignment.